Hello, my name is David Indus.
I'm Adam.
And we are here to create more regulations against smoking.
Because there's not enough.
That's right. Because not only is smoking harmful, it also is creating more youth smoking as well. And we need to close down on more regulations so that we can make sure the youth isn't getting harmed by all this.
Ugg boots? You know what I'm talking about, Ugg boots?
They're very fashionable.
Yeah. Sure.
How do you guys feel about Ugg boots?
They make me feel uncomfortable.
I hate Ugg boots. I hate them. Apparently they're very comfortable for the people that are wearing them, but to me they're an affront to my senses. They're an assault on my eyes. I don't think anybody should be allowed to wear Ugg boots in my presence. I think it's an awful thing. I don't think, certainly not indoors. Certainly Ugg boots indoors is uncalled for. Maybe if you're going to choose to use Ugg boots, because I realize we're a free country, if you're going to choose to wear Ugg boots, perhaps we should clump you into tiny little areas where all these people want to wear Ugg boots together, and stick you outside in the corner there where you go hang out and wear Ugg boots, and I don't have to be affected by it. Now, if I took that to a legislator or public office or something, I would hope that they threw the idea out because it's so absurd.
It's true.
Okay, introduce.
Yeah, they're going to do 4.7.
We're doing an intro. So
Just finish the intro.
That was just the intro, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the intro?
Back to the 4 points with you guys.
Okay, so our first point is actually the tobacco stats. So over 20% of all deaths in the U.S. are tobacco related.
More than collisions. Also, keeping in mind murders, which in the United States, people get murdered there a lot. That's a big number. So it's more than murders, car collisions, and AIDS and HIV combined. What does it tell you about tobacco? Also, there's more than 4,000 chemicals that are contained within a single cigarette of smoke, and also over 20% of the deaths total are again, combined. Whether or not that is, it's tragic for sure. Then we have people don't want to be exposed to smoke. I mean, yes, a lot of people are wishy-washy whether or not secondhand degree smoking actually causes, harmful effects, but do you personally, if you're not a smoker and you're not around that kind of environment, do you want to be around other people that are smoking in your face? Even if it isn't a casual environment, do you want to be around it all the time? Do you want to be exposed to that smoke if you're normally not in that kind of environment?
Also, we're going back to underage smoking. So children are taking advantage of older people and they're bumming the smokes off of them, and they actually boot for them as well because the regulations are a little more lenient. They just allow them to buy the cigarettes and give them to the younger people. And I've come to realize that there is a rule where if you're 16, you're allowed to smoke, but you're not allowed to purchase smokes. I feel like we should lock down more on that because that's not cool at all.
And easily one of the most crucial reasons to crack down and put more regulations on cigarettes is they're causing natural disasters. Forest fires, some of the biggest forest fires in the most recent years have been caused because of negligent people, not putting out their cigarette butts, bad campsites, being all nonchalant, I'm just having a smoke outside. Oh, forest fire, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. I mean, come on. If we had more regulations, we would have less people smoking, and less people smoking means less opportunities for this to happen. It's common sense.
So back in, I believe it's 2006, businesses here. I don't know if you guys remember this, businesses here. So we can't smoke in any restaurants. You're not allowed to smoke in any restaurants. But if you want, you can build this addition, or you can block it off from the rest of the patrons in the place where no smoke can get through. And we'll test this. No smoke can get through. It's got to be properly ventilated, and you can go smoke in those areas. And businesses spend a lot of money setting these things up. The rationale, I think, is sound on it. It's a business owner's right to choose to put this little thing out there. It'd be a smoker's choice to go to these establishments and smoke in these little areas, and it'd be the employee would understand that they'd be exposed to smoke. Put it in there. So they put these out here, and then less than a year later, they said, get rid of that crap, can't smoke inside. So even though it's everybody's choice to do it, and even though lots of money was spent, get the hell out of it, you don't have to. So the rationale that was used at the time is that, well, it's still harmful to your health, right? Smoking and secondhand smoke, there's a lot of documentation on secondhand smoke being harmful. I'm not going to debate that. I just think it's pretty rational. I think smokers and non-smokers can use, if you're going to be the hill that we're going to die on is you have to smoke indoors, you have to smoke outdoors. I think that's a point that smokers and non-smokers can negotiate on. We have a public health care system. But if you're going to frame the conversation in that context, you better use it's harmful to your health for every other regulation that you're putting out there. Because otherwise you're going too far.
And also with the smoking designated areas that people have already put out there for smokers, and might I add as well, vapors. Honestly, vaping is one of the least harmful things out there, and you're going to cause them to go outside because they're trying to quit smoking. Like really, what's the harm in vaping? It's a water vapor. The worst thing you're going to really taste or smell is the flavoring. So I see no ideologue or anything towards that at all. And also, smokers also have the right to smoke. How would you feel if someone took away your right to drink at a bar? Having a good time with your friends, I'm sitting around with my friends who, want to smoke some tobacco or off of a hookah, and I can't do it in, let's say, a restaurant because it's not allowed. I have to go do it at home.
Okay, so now you guys will both present your 4 points. 1 minute break before the 5-minute open debate.
Yeah, I'll just take my cancer and a stick. Well, you got a hole in the armpit. Yeah. Bad one? What is this bad one? Should I make a new shirt?
Shirt shop.
Work shirt. Work shirt.
It's a new one. You just need a invitation.
No, this is a work shirt now.
Yeah, like you put them in the magazine everyday shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
It would help stimulate.
Where's a good place to go clothes shop? Is there an American Eagle shop there?
Yeah.
There is?
American Eagle, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one in the mall.
What? I gotta go.
Buy like booster juice.
I gotta go to Booster Juice and get some Booster Juice and then
Go to American Eagle.
I gotta buy some Gets Juice.
They're so expensive there.
Oh, I know, it's kind of ridiculous.
Booster juice?
No.
No.
Oh.
No. Amazing.
I know you're from Saskatoon, but like, I don't know this stuff.
Yeah?
I think I'm stupid.
Okay, open debate starts when your hand is up.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I'll start.
Good job.
Now, you're saying smoking's bad for you. Like, that's like a big news
That
type thing.
is very subjective term. I mean, I would use something more, it's harmful to your health is a little more descriptive
Yeah.
of the topic, but I understand what you're
Yeah, okay. And just like, junk food is bad for your health and all the things that are bad for your health there. I don't think you're suggesting that we're banning cigarettes. are you?
No, actually, we think that they are a special minority group of people within the overarching population. And we do think that smokers do deserve, specific rights and freedoms within the restraints of the law and the restrictions that are designed. Because the majority of people aren't smokers. The majority of people don't smoke a single cigarette in their life. So why should the majority of people, if this is a democracy, which is based on the majority of people voting and voicing their opinion, then why should the majority have to be exposed to a minority? Now, keep in mind, we want to respect people who smoke, and we want to offer as much freedom to them as possible within the constraints of our society, which isn't perfect.
So, yeah, one second. Where are you drawing that line? Because I'm saying, okay, don't smoke indoors. Okay, I understand that. Don't smoke indoors. I open the door and I go outside. Light a cigarette outside.
That is a valid point, for sure. The one thing to keep in mind, though, when we're talking about specific freedoms and rights for this minority group, why not have stores and places like, whether or not the individual businesses, smoking outside, maybe that legislation needs to be adjusted to have a clause in there that maybe they could provide a smoker room or a room that people could go to if they want to just, smoke. Because most restaurants will have a lounge area that's smoking or non-smoking to provide those different options to people. So
Well,
we're
you don't
fortunate.
have those lounge areas, we're not allowed to do that.
Not anymore.
Now, David, actually, you mind if I call you Dave?
Sure.
You're okay with that? Okay,
Yeah.
Dave, I have noticed that earlier you said 16 was the legal age limit for buying cigarettes?
No, smoking. They can't purchase
Smoking.
smokes, yeah.
Oh, so they can smoke after 16?
Right.
Okay, I thought it was actually 18 years of age there, huh?
No, it's actually 16. You can
Okay.
smoke, as long as somebody's supplying you with smoke.
Okay, because that doesn't make sense to me, because when I was growing up at the age of 16, when a cop saw me smoking, I would get a ticket for it.
No.
And I'd have to pay for that ticket, and that's happened many times to my friends. Now, I'd actually like to expand more on the underage smoking, taking advantage. Wouldn't that be bad parenting on the parents' end of the part, where the kids are being little shites?
Not
At all?
necessarily.
Because
if
it's
this
not
is a
another
part of-
adult's,
if this-
it's not another adult's responsibility to raise their children at all.
That is
the
true, but we are
parents'
talking
problem.
about also public environment where people go out with their kids. And yes, the parents have control over their kids in those environments, but there's so many outside influences, very much, a variety of stimulus that'll go off. And it doesn't even have to be a parent saying, don't smoke. They could see somebody smoking and enjoying themselves. And, for those people that enjoy smoking and have the freedom to
We
do
would hate to enjoy ourselves. What a terrible thing, I would really shelter our
But
kids from
the
people
kids
enjoying
could
themselves.
misinterpret that, and it could be a situation where they are interpreting it as, I don't want to be like my parents, because most kids are rebellious, right? So,
Can I ask, would you be opposed to vaping inside?
now vaping I would actually consider a separate topic, actually. I don't think it is relevant.
What's getting lumped in?
It is relevant in the sense that vaping is physically similar to smoking, but vaping is fundamentally different, both for what you're doing with it and also why you're.
Okay, so
in the
you
first
would be
place.
okay with it inside?
If it was inside for vaping?
I mean, it's not harmful to anybody. It's
Cool,
just,
right on.
Yeah, great, I like
Excellent.
that idea.
What about smoking outside? Do you think, like, if you go outside and you're
Depends.
smoking in the wide,
Depends if you're in
Atmosphere
public
of
or in
both.
your own space at home, right? Like, if you're gonna go outside the mall and then go for a smoke, there's people walking by you all the
there's
time.
what, okay,
So
but
now we can only smoke at home.
No,
That's not what we're saying.
that's not what we're saying.
We're saying there should be public areas for smoking that people can smoke as much as they want, but it's clearly designated as a smoking.
But there already are, and they're right beside the doors outside the college.
Now, do you agree that there should be, do you agree that they should be at the doors? Should they be maybe in a more sheltered area?
I'm just
Still
saying from what
outside,
you
or
guys
do
are
you feel
saying.
I'm just
that
asking what the
shouldn't-
difference is.
When people are walking past the doors from leaving from classes and that designated smoking area is right beside the doors right there, and you guys are fighting the topic of that you don't want people in the public to be getting that toxin.
Okay, great open debate, you guys. Clap for them too. 1 minute break before your closing statements.
This is like a box on Matt.
That's good.
I'm gonna show you how to debate tomorrow. I got that meeting with Yeah. You know it.
Right.
It's all about the crime, gentlemen.
I think, yeah.
Or just, I'm gonna slay you guys.
I think we're good.
More than coffee. 100%.
Hey, David.
I wake up in the morning like this excellence.
So about them Jets.
I was about to say that actually.
I have.
Okay,
You're looking at me.
closing statements. It starts with David and Adam. Go ahead.
So, first off, we're gonna start with how it affects the environment. So like we said, that there's people that aren't very careful with how they control their cigarettes after they're done smoking. They'll flick them out and start a forest fire, or they'll start a house fire, they'll start a lot of things because they smoke within the house. And that can move on to somebody's other house, or maybe even a community where it'll be affected by that smoker because the village is on fire, the neighbor's house is on fire, and nobody's controlling that because, well, they're smoking in their house and not being careful with it. Also, I'm gonna touch back on the underage smoking. There, like you said, parents control their kids, but not to a full extent. When they're at school or when they're out with their friends, the parents aren't there to control them. So therefore, they'll find a way to buy or get a cigarette and start smoking, and therefore they're going to just continue to do so. So we have to find a way to lock down on all those things.
Okay.
Now, smoking here at Lethbridge College, there are designated areas. But over out in the parking lot, you are not allowed to smoke whatsoever. Out in the open space, away from everyone else and away from the doors. So I kind of think that's really absurd, don't you think? Because honestly, I'm enjoying a smoke away from a lot of people at least 15 feet, let's say. And I'm not affecting anyone at all. And I call complete bad on that part right there with, designated area right beside the door. Okay. Makes sense to me if you want to go that route. And Victoria, BC has also banned smoking downtown outside. And what happens if you happen to live downtown? Or if you also happen to work downtown? Where are you supposed to smoke if you live in a non-smoking residence? Are you just supposed to give up your complete rights and quit smoking? I don't know about you, but I do not want my rights to be taken away at all. And that is terrible.
Great, excellent debate.
So today I'm talking about marijuana Canadian government debate. Now, can I have a show of hands who all, knows about marijuana? Okay, does anyone know certain facts about marijuana? Throw some out there.
It's green.
Sorry?
It's green.
It's green, okay, anyone else?
It's an illegal drug, but that's also used in medical purposes as well.
Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, now Stephen Harper has stated that marijuana is infinitely worse than tobacco. Now, why would Stephen Harper say something like that? Personally, I think that tobacco is worse than marijuana due to the high death rates of smoking, right? And causes cancers and all the chemicals and tar in cigarettes, compared to marijuana, where the worst thing you could do is either smoke, the worst thing you could do is smoke it. Why not just eat it? So that's one thing I don't understand from Stephen Harper's point of view, is that marijuana use is infinitely worse than tobacco. Okay, and why? So some facts about marijuana. Marijuana is known as a medical drug used for a variety of treatments, such like leukemia, mainly all cancer-based things, and anxiety, depression, so on and so forth. Does anyone else want to list off a couple more at all that they would know off the top of their head? Just
Chronic pain.
chronic pain, okay. David?
Sleeping.
Sleeping?
Epilepsy.
Epilepsy, yeah. These are all good points that marijuana has shown us. Now, can anyone tell me any positive effects of smoking a cigarette?
You look cool.
Anyone at all? You look cool. Okay, you look cool. Awesome. Any other facts at all that someone knows about cigarettes? Jesse, back in?
Relaxation.
Relaxation. Yeah, I admit, I do smoke cigarettes myself, and I have wanted to go for a cigarette when I am stressed, or just to relax, or even when I'm bored. No one has ever overdosed on marijuana. I believe, what is it? You need to smoke a pound in an hour or 30 minutes in order to overdose on marijuana, which is highly unlikely you're going to smoke a pound of marijuana. Smoking marijuana can be harmful to the lungs, like I said earlier, but there are also other healthier options. For instance, edibles, drinking it, putting it in your tea, so on and so forth. So honestly, I do not see where the negative part of smoking or consuming marijuana would be worse than tobacco. Now with cigarettes, they have a lot of dangerous chemicals. Does everyone agree with me about that?
Yep.
Yeah? Can anyone name a couple of very dangerous chemicals in there? One off the top of their head?
Rat poison.
Rat poison? Okay. Anyone else?
Tar.
Cyanide.
Cyanide? Deroshe?
Tar.
Tar? Okay. Can cause tar in the lungs, I believe. It's one of the leading causes of tuberculosis, and it is highly addictive. It is one of the worst drugs out there to actually get off of. I myself know that because currently I'm in the middle of quitting by smoking vaporizers, which I find these things to be really healthy. And it also is the leading cause of cancer, which is very, very bad because there is not a known cure for cancer right now, which is very sad. My conclusion, Stephen Harper has made an accusation about marijuana without bringing up factual information about it. If you're going to be a leader of a political party, I believe you should actually bring up the facts and know what you are talking about. And basically just what I said right there. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.